So, back on, waiting on my co host now to join me. He's like 15 minutes late. Yeah, but I'm going to talk about him. You know why? Because he talked about my 2 minutes last Sunday. And see, God don't like ugly. He don't. He don't. And now he is just saying he is ready. And I'm still waiting on him. Still. Come on. We got the R, but we need the T. Let's see. Hi guys, just waiting on my other co-host. Other co-host was waiting on my co-host, rather, not my other one. And then we're getting started with Real Shyt with R&T. He comes on. Come on. Where are you at? So we can get started with Real Shyt with R&T. I'm about to kill the T in this R. And it says adding. Let's just see. Cause he's about to die if he don't get on up into this cold time. There he goes. Yeah, you better smile. You better be glad that smile is handsome. Cause baby, I'm ready to let you have that.
I know. I'm sorry. First of all, I know, right? First of all, I apologize. I'll take the entire blame on this one because your boy your boy started a new job this week, and when I tell you, it's getting used to getting up and getting out the house when you're used to working from home, and I came home and crashed immediately, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get up here in a second, and when I tell you, it slipped my mind entirely. I apologize. How can I forget about R&T on Wednesday?
About the R&T. There's no T without the R, no R without the T.
That whole part, fam. That whole part. So once again, I apologize. I'm here now. We about to go ahead and get this in. Since then, please pardon me for my tardiness. It will not happen again. At least I don't think it will. I'm gonna try not to let it happen. But I'm gonna be better later. I promise you. I promise.
All right.
Once again,
we got you. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to R&T. Your host, of course, I'm the R.
I am the T. T is for tardy today. T is for tardy. Since that, because.
Look, are you still asleep?
Dude, when I tell you, I literally just woke up.
Oh, I can see copy this now. Oh my God.
When I tell you, I literally just woke my eyes up and saw your post. Like, where you? I was like, oh Lord, I done forgot about the show today.
I'm in there cooking, and like, okay, I gotta get done. We're just.
Yeah, normally, and you know what? I ain't gonna even say nothing because normally you good with hitting me with a 30-minute pre-call show, but today
right.
but that ain't even your fault because I'm a grown ass man.
I should just like a man. Somehow you got
yeah, I'm a grown ass. Like I said, I'll take the L because it's my fault. It's my fault. R&T is important to me. See what I'm saying? I've been doing work on it for this week, so it's my fault. I apologize. We're going to go ahead and jump right on in.
All right, so we'll go ahead and we'll get started. So this is the ooh-wee moment. I don't know why I saw it. Ooh-wee time on Wednesdays. And so we have a little topic and we want people to join so we can get you guys input. So please, again, so the way Wednesdays works, if you want to join us and tell your side or give your opinion, please just hit the little button down at the bottom. I think on your phone it says you want to join. Or T is also, he's the person who pays attention the most to our comments. So you can always hit let me join, or I want to join, and T will tell me, and then I'll hit the button. So please, Wednesdays is definitely for you guys, our audience, to give their input, so you don't just hear it only from T and Renee, okay? Well,
That part,
R&T.
what she said. So if you want to join in, like I said, this is our quick hitter show. So, we only got one topic today, and it's a good one. See what I'm saying? Because it does play a part. But if you want to join in, just let us know, and we'll get you on now. But once again, we're going to ask that you treat this like a black funeral. See what I'm saying? You got 2 minutes. You got 2 and 2. You got 2 minutes. We might give you 3. See what I'm saying? But you got more likely.
No more than 5.
Yeah, we ain't got 5. We gonna get we're gonna get your opinion. Since then we might ask you a question, then because we got other people that might want to come on as well.
Okay, that'd be our signal. We'll be like,
2 and 2. Right. If you see me do this,
bitch,
you know that you about your feet about to get da 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 da.
Who doesn't hit the button?
You see what I'm saying about the button on? We don't want to be rude. We just doing what we can. See what I'm saying?
We just doing what we can. Okay, we gotta keep it to the road. Let's go.
The question that I asked to Stephanie before, or to Renee, I apologize, before the end of Sunday show was, how did being raised by your father, having your father in your life, how does that affect your dating, your mind thought on dating and things of that nature? Because unfortunately, we can't sugarcoat the situation. There's a lot of women that don't grow up with their fathers, or with a predominant male role model in their home, in their life, and that affects at least I believe it affects how you relate and relate to men. So I'm saying it'd be the same thing if the young man didn't grow up with his mother in his life. So I'm saying now I'm a big believer that just because when the original is not available, God will always provide you a substitute. Now, Lord, hopefully it's a good one. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully it's somebody that you can respect, and you can glean from, and you have to honor and things of that nature. But sometimes when that substitute, sometimes there's not a substitute available as well. So I've always wondered that question, because when I think back on my dating life, like both of my wives that I was married to, both of them had fathers in their lives. No man is perfect by no means, but they had their fathers. See what I'm saying? And so how they thought and talked to men, I think, was kind of shaped and molded by what they seen their mother do, and and how these men interacted in their lives, and they were active participants. I don't think I've dated too many women who really didn't have that. I mean, now he may not be a constant presence, but they grew up with a father figure in their home, in the immediate vicinity. So like I never had to fight the battle of my wife or my girl fixing me a plate. And I know that sounds trivial, and it's not about me being served and catered to and nothing like that. But when you become who you was raised by, they saw their mothers do things, and so they did things. So you, like I said, for you, you're more in line with the type of women that I've always dated. So, but I'm sure there's women on here that's watching or may have been watching. Before we continue that, let me get this piece out first. I made a joke on Sunday before we ended the show, and I about women who didn't have their mothers in their lives and whatnot. Let me apologize. It was in jest, I promise, but I can understand how that joke can be sensitive for some. See what I'm saying? And I don't want to take anything that you had to go through to get to the point where you're at in your life now as belittling you or mocking or anything of that nature. I was just being funny or attempting to be funny. I apologize. Somebody brought it to my attention, so I said it on air, so I'll apologize. Go ahead, Steph. Take the floor.
And apologizing on air. I love it. We talked about that last time. So yeah, like you said, I am fortunate to have my father, me and my sisters. we did have our dad. Our dad is still here and very active. And you know, I feel like we're daddy's girls, and that's why I hold that number one so tight. So that's what I am. I do feel like it does play a part with having a dad. Same thing with just like if you have a boy, you know, your mindset is different because you always, when you see a man, you automatically think of your dad. You know, that's your first love. You know, that's the first person that teaches you how a man is supposed to treat a girl. You know, how he's supposed to open the door, even, you know, when he was with my mom, you know, or how he catered, how like you said, how she served him dinner, how when they went to the store, he went to the store with her. I remember, you know, him making calls and making sure she got home okay, or her he worked nights. And I remember she was like, I don't care how tired I am, because she worked during the day, but he worked during the night as a nurse. And he used to say, I don't care how tired I am. She used to say, I don't care how tired I am, call me and you can talk to me and I'll stay up while, just in case you're falling asleep. Because of course, when you work nights as a nurse, you know, it's everybody's really asleep and they're
Right.
not at their desk, and you can get in trouble if you fall asleep at that desk, even though,
Right.
you know, the patients are asleep. So I really learned that from my mom with him. And and I did take that on because my ex-husband, he works at the city, but during snow removal he works overnights. And I used to tell him too, like, hey, I don't care, you know, what time it is, babe, call me, you know, let me know if you're sleepy and you're in the truck, because, you know, he's study behind the, you know, snow and stuff like that. Like, call me, I'll wake up and I'll have a conversation with you. And he always did say he appreciate that, you know. And he didn't ask me to do that. I just knew to do it because I seen it done, or
Right.
I heard that
Right.
conversation. So if I didn't hear that conversation when he went to work, I probably would have just like, okay, let me know you made it. You know,
That part.
I wouldn't thought to, oh, he needs to stay awake, call me and wake me up, and I'll wake up and
Right.
talk to you. So I think it does play a big part. I, and it can be it can play a big part positive, but there can also be some negatives to it
That
too.
part.
Let's just
Okay.
like my dad is old school, very old school.
Shout
So
out to shout
he
out
runs
to the aunt. Say shout out to the
a
aunt. Say
he runs a tight ship. You know, his mom, you know, what is it, 11 boys? They think they had 2 girls. So he's old school, you know. So our new generation men, you know, they might not be. I mean, fortunately though, my ex also came from a family with a mom and dad.
right.
So he also had those privileges. He knew what to do as a man, and because he seen his dad do and he seen his mom do, you know. So I did benefit. We both benefited from that. But like, if he wouldn't do something, because and you know, we made it clear to the viewers that my ex is my, you know, my first. We was together for so long. That's all we knew were each other. So we actually, you know, I think a lot of things he did was towards me was from his mom. Anything he expected me to do, he was basically using his mom as the
Yeah.
example. And everything he didn't do or was supposed to do, I was using my dad, because we didn't have the other relationships that we could go back like, oh,
Right.
she did it, he did it. We had to use
Right.
our parents.
Right.
Right.
I mean, because
So
like you said, y'all started off so young, and then
yeah,
there was never any experiences outside of you too.
right.
So you tend to draw from the well that you have. See what I'm saying?
Yeah,
For you now, you would draw from your marriage when dealing
right.
with a man, because you have that experience.
Because now I
Um,
have the
for
experience.
for
Yes.
me, like I didn't have that mother father in the house. I had my mom's. We lived with my mother, obviously, and then I went and stayed with my pops on weekends and holidays or whenever he came and got me. My father was present, see what I'm saying, but there was never the constant. Um, so some stuff I just had to figure out on my own. See what I'm saying,
Yeah.
when it came to how to be a man, and some stuff I didn't figure out until much later in life. Just
Right.
because, you know, it just was what it was. Not to make
Yeah.
excuses or say anything negative about my papa. Like I said, there's nobody I respect more than my father at this time. But when I was younger, I didn't have the type of relationship that you was privileged to with having both of your parents and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, did you have any friends who didn't have their father in the house? And if so, how different was they than you? And comparing the two, even so much comparing the two now.
You know, that's funny because from all of my friends, my best friend, her dad was in her life. My friend Erica, Lanisha, dads was in their lives.
Erica, Lanisha,
Eric,
I never heard of them. Man. What they were doing?
well, I mean,
Okay.
they were friends in the neighborhood, so yeah, she
Ah,
was there.
back in the
But
day.
yeah,
Okay.
all of them actually dads. My other friend Erica, actually all their dads were in their life, and even I think once stay with her dad and not her mom. So that's funny. I guess I don't know back then or for some reason in my area of friends, of cliques of friends, they did have a dad. Now there was one. No, there was one, and I won't say her name, of course. Um,
You
she
know,
didn't have it. Okay. So but see, I don't know her now. Like I mean, I saw her through Facebook a little bit, but that's about it. So I really still couldn't really comment. But I do know, like I said, just from talking just to other women that I know, that didn't have that dad in the household, either they've gotten stronger or they've learned from other men they've dealt with. I'm pretty sure that's how they did it. I would love for anybody to tap in, but like I said, that's why I do believe all of that plays a role with how you date. It's even to bring up I think one of my posts or something was about child support and stuff like that. It was from seeing my dad because my baby sister is not with my mom. My baby sister has a different mom, but we have the same dad. And so my dad, when that marriage ended, of course, that's when child support is put on. It's not because you're a bad father; it's just because of the marriage ended. But my dad paid child support. My dad still got my sister Sheree, and he also still did for Sheree. Sandra will call, he'll still do. Sheree will call, he'll still do. She was still coming over. So I seen that that's how it done, and then I seen too my dad also too. I seen how my dad took his stepkids in. They wasn't steps, and I'm real big on that. I'm real big on titles. I don't. If anybody I do mess with in the future, their kids is my kids, and I seen that with my dad, and that's exactly how I address my brothers and stuff like that. I don't call them steps, halves. They're my brothers, and that's because of the way my dad made us all feel and stuff like that. So I definitely feel like you take that consideration when I'm talking to men. I hear the way they talk to women, and and a lot of times, like I even told, I don't know if I said it on here, but I've made comments on like my steps and processes of when a guy should know where he is depending on who he's met in my life. So my last two, my dating is first talking, of course. Second stage is getting to my house is very hard. I you mow all around it. I don't tell nobody where my house is, but you might get to the house. But then my kids is next. And my dad is actually last. And I feel like if you get to that point to meet my dad, oh, you in there. If you get to my kids, you're in there. But I know how my dad is. And then since he has never met anybody else other than my ex, I know he's gonna be, like, are you gonna take care of my baby girl? And my dad's getting into a particular age. This person right now, I call my dad for everything. My couch leg on the thing just broke, and yesterday all I had to do was call Daddy, my couch broke, or Daddy, these oil is leaking. What does that mean? So I'm calling.
Take the car to the shop.
Oh, but where was that shop? Where's that shop? They be trying to play you. So the man he came back, he was like, he says oil leaking. I'm like, okay, so does that mean you can't put oil in it? He was like, I don't know. Let me call my daddy. Like, I'm one of them girls. Let me call my daddy. My dad said, just do what you do, and it's okay. So yeah, I think all that plays in things. And if I can't call on a man, Yeah, good luck with that.
I hear you. Like I said, I just think that honestly, I haven't met. You can definitely tell the difference when a woman's had her father and when she has. You
Mm.
just can't. I don't. You just can't, because some things that is foreign to a woman that didn't have her father is
Mm.
natural for a woman who did. See what I'm saying? And once again, but more than anything, it's more so a lot of it comes down to your own responsibility first and foremost. See what I'm saying? Because in the end, regardless of whether who was there or who was not, it's your responsibility as a human being to better yourself.
Tomorrow.
Period.
Yes.
See what I'm saying?
Period.
Because just because you didn't have something growing up, even if it was something that you desired to have, doesn't mean that you can't, as you get older, you can't learn what you missed out on. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But learning how to talk to a man in on an equal level and not
Yeah.
talking down,
Not count
because
talk at him.
yeah,
Yeah.
there are a lot of women that struggle in that vein. See what I'm saying? Because they just never seen it. See what I'm saying?
Mm.
Or the opportunities that they did see it, maybe they moms, dated, had a boyfriend here or there, whatever the case can be, and moms was, she was the judge during the execution. See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it was her house, her rules, and she talked to them the way that she wanted to. And
Yeah.
some dudes will allow that. See what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
that's fine if you do.
And
Let me tell you, that's not how no real man is gonna allow you to talk to.
right.
Period. See what I'm saying? Not know. I can't think of a dude that I know. No, I know one. I know one. Outside of him, I can't think of no real dude that I know that is going to allow a woman to talk slick to him and stay around. Not no good dude. Now, once again, we talk about good and bad all the time. Good people don't have to do that. See what I'm saying? A good woman doesn't have to stick around a dude that's on some bullshit. A
Yeah,
good
they
woman
don't
doesn't have
have
to.
to, but you do see them though. You can see a good woman stay in an abusive situation, or a good man stay, like you said, in that situation being talked to like that because they don't know their worth. No, they know their worth
That's
because they've
exactly
been
what I was about to
marked.
say.
Yeah,
That's
they've
what
been
I was.
marked down. Yeah, they've been marked down,
Yeah,
and they forget their worth. They forget that there's somebody else out there, or they're scared because of kids, or they're scared because financial, moving out and stuff like that. So I have seen good people stay with horrible mates. I'm just gonna do that.
you stupid. But once again, it's because, like you said, they wasn't aware of their own worth.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? Because, and I can't think of a reason why somebody that knows their own worth why they would stick around in a horrible situation. Once again, I heard somebody ask the question. Why? I think somebody asked the question like on one of our shows like last week. Why would somebody good stick around?
Yeah.
I
Why
can,
would somebody
I
that's
can,
getting beat stick around getting hit? Yeah, that's what you said. Yeah.
because one, like you said, they don't know their own worth.
They
Two,
don't.
a lot of it is hope. I hope things
Yeah.
get better.
Yeah.
I know God has better for me in this. I've been committed to this person. If I just show this person that I really do care,
Yeah.
they'll change.
They'll do it. Yeah.
They'll see my worth. But
Right.
it's hard for somebody else to see your worth if you don't see it.
If you don't see your own, that part right there.
It's
And that's hard for a woman to believe, because a good woman, we do. And I even heard there's this one this one man I talked to. He even said it too. His is going through like a partnership with his business and stuff, and he said a woman is just loyal. It takes a good woman can stay loyal for a good minute. It takes a lot for a good woman to just give up on you. Like, we literally will try to figure it out, try to work it out, try to help you, try to, make lower ourselves, figure out stuff. Like, we, you, we really, really try our best before we actually give up. Now, some just give up, trust me. Because it depends, I think, the age. It depends on, like you said, it depends on how many experiences they've had, how much they know their worth. All of that probably plays in the mind of that too.
It definitely does, especially after a certain age. I
Yeah.
don't care, I don't care whether it be male or female. Since
No.
once you're after a certain age, and
Yeah.
because once again, once you start having these experiences in life, you be like, I'm not. You start to see some things. You see the pattern of certain things coming down the line. Now,
Yeah.
if you're decent, you're not going to just because somebody may have the same characteristics or shown that you're going to allow that situation to be its own identity first. You're not
Right.
just trying to chop it up immediately because it looks like when in reality it could be something totally different. But
Yes.
most of the time when you after you reach a certain age, you be like, man, I ain't putting up with no bullshit.
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I
Because
think that's
what?
just
I
like
don't
work.
have to. I don't
Right.
have to.
That's what, like you said, you keep saying that you don't have to, but a lot of people still do have to. Like I just think, like I said, not only is age, but also just growing from your situation, and also too with that, it also goes back to job time too, because back in the day, I used to take a job because of the money. Like numbers made me walk. Now numbers still play a big part, but also too, I'm not dealing with no bull crap at work either. Like if my peace is disturbed or I got a toxic boss, I'll leave that 30. I'll buy. Like I'm sorry, I'm getting to a particular age where I don't have to deal with like that. Like there's other jobs. Like also you learn your work with working. Like I
That
know
part.
my work. I can find another job, and just like I can find another job, I can find another man.
And but once again, that goes back to coming to the realization of who you are. I think
Right.
young people are to a degree a little bit more patient in that maybe just because they don't know, and you don't know
Yeah.
what you don't know. Since
Yeah.
then, like I can't
You don't
imagine.
miss what you don't know. Yeah.
I can't imagine being in a relationship for a period of time and just where it's stale, where this woman is talking slick, she's talking crazy, she's just taking. I just couldn't imagine, and that has and
Yeah.
people are quick to say, once divorced, you're more prone to get divorced again, and I can understand it, having two on the
Oh.
ledger, but I think some of that is you just not gonna settle anymore. See what I'm saying? I'm not.
Yeah.
Once again, I will fight tooth and nail with you, but at some point, if it's not working, it's not working, and we have
Okay.
to be okay with recognizing that it's not working, and maybe the
Right.
season that we was in is over. See what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And now you should take your vows seriously. Don't get. I'm not. Once again, Don't get on here thinking that T is saying divorce your dude or divorce your chick. By no means. But be realistic about it too. Have some common sense about it. See what I'm saying? Because I don't care how much somebody loves you. If they disrespecting you, they don't love you.
Exactly.
Because love and disrespect can't live in the same place at the same time. It can't.
And disrespect can be the verbal, can be physical, can be cheating, like constantly
Mentally,
cheating. I mean, mentally, it can be disrespect. Can be all of that. Belittling you in front of people, and I mean, it can go. Disrespect can go a long way. But I think, like I said, or even like you said, a lot of people stay in situations because of reasons, because of kids, because of financial, because of don't want to get a divorce, came from a family that's of divorce and they want to prove a point, if they got with that man at a certain age or whatever, and a lot of people told you don't get with that man, they want to prove a point. So I think it's a lot of that, but for me, once I said enough was enough, I don't give a what nobody think. And again, I learned my own worth, and it did not come. It took me a while to get to where I am now. I'll be honest, and I mean, I still struggle sometimes on different things. But once a woman or man knows their worth, I think it's a beautiful thing. And like you said, it's not that we're it's not that we're less patient. We're just not gonna pull up with BS. We probably have another 60 years of life, and that's it. You know, maybe a good 60, another 60. That would put us at.
I don't want to be on this side of crazy for another 60. No, fam, I don't want to be here for 60. Nigga, that'll put me at 100, 106. No, I'm good.
No. Okay. So we got like 40. Yeah, sometimes I'll probably put another 40. 40.
Yeah, that's you know, that's, see what I'm saying? This is my personal opinion. If you're 100 something, you definitely missed a phone call from Jesus. At some point in time, he came to get you and you did not pick up the phone. That's just my personal opinion. I understand, you know, long life is luxurious, longevity. I get that. Nah, I want no parts of that. See what I'm saying? I don't want no parts of that.
This great grandpa,
he was old as hell. Yeah. I don't know if he was 100, but he was definitely in his. But look at the quality of life that he had at the end.
I know.
No, I'm good. I'm definitely good on that. Yeah. No parts. Now let me go. See me on the other side, fam. See what I'm saying? Meet me at the crossroads. I'll be there. See what I'm saying?
I'll be there. Well, yeah, like you said, I mean, we got 40 more, and I just want to be happy. That's all. Right now, that's where I'm at. And I honestly feel like this is a good time for me. This is my season because one, my kids are older. I can't have any more kids, so you know it will be stepmommy, for sure. I don't, you know, I'm fine with that, but I can't have any more. And that's fine. So I don't feel like I will stay with a guy because of kids, because only kids' dad is the ex. Financially, I've been financially taking care of self and her 2 kids for the last year and a half, you know, so I know I can do that on my own. It's not like I need a man to take care of me or something like that. So I feel like now, if I choose a man, I'm actually choosing him for him, and I'm choosing him because I love him and because I feel like he loves me, and we're getting somewhere. I had that peace, that balance. I mean, the words I speak now is the stuff that the growth, you know, the building each other, building our empire, you know, this just loving each other about each other, not because of responsibilities. And that's where I am.
That part.
Yeah.
Where I'm at in life is my kids are grown. Mm-hmm. I am single. I'm at a place where, single. You know what I'm saying? Because you know in the word whenever there was a double word said twice, that means that there was a great revelation coming. You know what I'm saying? I want people to know that, you know, I'm single. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna start saying I'm single. Okay.
Yeah, I'm single. Like you can call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, single. See what I'm saying? Like
you can write right on my post. You can write right on my post. Because I'm single.
I'm single. My phone is turned upside the right way at dinner. I'm that single. That's the thing I am.
You did answer my comment. No, that's no robbery.
I'm single.
Single.
I'm single. But for me, it's a little different, right? Because, like I said, with my kids being grown, I have preferences on who I would rather date and who I would not. And some of those preferences would lead me, if I continued in that situation, that I may have to have, I would be open to having another kid.
Oh, you would be?
Oh, I definitely would be.
Mm.
And there's a reason, but there's a reason behind it. See what I'm saying? Okay. Once again, this is preference. I would give not anybody, because I'm not just open to dating anybody, but I would give an honest try for somebody that I was interested in, regardless of the number, regardless if she had kids or not. If she had kids, I would definitely have to see how you are and how you interact with your kids before I can even entertain taking you seriously about dating you. Because it's different. Once again, it's different it is so different nowadays compared to when I was younger. I don't, fam, I'm 46. See what I'm saying? If I come into your, if
Whoa,
I do,
you are?
I am, fam. See what
Well,
I'm saying?
damn. I
I'm
wasn't
one of the
ready.
older cousins. See what I'm saying?
You one of the older ones. Let me
I
pick my lip
am.
up.
Pick it up. See what I'm saying? Respect me when you talk to me. See what I'm saying? You put sir on the back of that shit. See what I'm saying?
You know, let me know. You look good, boy. You look good,
I
man.
do what
You
I
look good.
can. I do what I
You're
can.
done.
But it's different because, fam, if she's a woman who's and the kid's father isn't in their lives and they haven't had a real predominant male role model in their life, she's all that they know.
Yeah.
She's all that they know. And depending on how you have raised your kids and how respectful you, because every most parents say, "Oh, my kids are good, they're respectful and blah blah blah."
Oh, yeah.
Even though they're hellions and they, and if he's not used to a man, fam, if he's not used to a real man coming in and setting order and setting boundaries and saying, "Hey, you can't
Right.
talk to me like that." See what I'm saying? It's gonna be a problem.
Right.
And then two, on top of that, if she is so sensitive about who can talk to her kids in a certain tone, but once again, I'm not out here just going ballistic or going off for no reason. This little boy
Right.
that says A, B, C, and D, I'm going to check him as a man. Not that I'm not doing it, fam. There's some things that I will never go back to in life, ever.
Mm.
And I will never go back and be and feel some type of way or feel like I gotta govern what comes out of my mouth. I'm a
Mm.
parent.
Two
I'm a
kids.
parent. I'm a parent. Period. Like you said earlier, if this is the kids that we got, they're my kids.
There are
Period.
kids. Yes.
Regardless
Period.
of how old these kids are. So I'm saying,
Right.
and I think now as an older man, I'm a lot more communicative. See what I'm saying? I'm a lot more with, let's have some conversations about this. Let me tell you
Yeah.
what I expect. Let me tell you how I am. Let me give
Yeah.
you, I'm real big on giving people the layout of the land before we even get into a whole situation, because what you'll
Yeah.
never be able to say is that I didn't tell you.
I didn't
If
tell
you
you.
just, if you disrespect me, we're going to have a whole situation. I'm just
Yeah.
being buck. I'm
You
keeping it a
you
buck
you
with
gonna have
you.
Jody and baby boy up in there.
Yeah, it's a whole situation. See what I'm saying? Because, and before I let it go that far, I'll leave your mama alone.
Yeah.
It's
And I
that
think I
simple.
think all that needs to be part of the dating talk.
It has to be now.
You have to ask those questions, and you have to and stop thinking that you're going to change somebody, because you're not going to change them. Like most of the time, because we are at a particular age. It's hard to probably try to change, and you can try on certain things, but there's some things you're just not going to change. And I have had a guy ask me, how would I feel if he said something to my kids, and I had to be honestly, my kids have never heard from another man other than my dad and
That
their
part.
dad.
That part.
And their other grandpa. That's it. That's the only man's that has redirected, has said anything. So, do I think my kids are respectful? Yes, they say yes, no, ma'am. They answers, they jump when I say, but they have their moments and stuff. I mean, they're still boys, they're still kids. Um, how I'm not gonna sit here and tell you how I would react, because I don't know. What I do know, I don't want the hand putting on. I don't want you touching my child. And
Well,
I
at
feel like
this
they're too
point, they're
old.
too old for that.
They're too old for that.
Yeah,
And
they're too.
honestly,
Yeah,
huh?
I agree. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, they're way too old. And I probably, and even if I mess with a man who had a kid that was younger, I just don't feel like you have to put your hands on them. But I mean, you can still be stern. You still can be, have that communication. That still maybe even that fear. But I just, I feel like that's your job as their parent or whatever the case may be. But they're gonna respect me at the end of the day. But like how just me bringing up the baby boy situation. I remember that scene where him and Melvin was in like the front room or something, and I mean, they were so close in proximity of each other. And that's when he blew that kiss, like, and then he was like, "You need to move, nigga," something like that, right? And then he pushed him. I wouldn't even let my husband, my man, my son get that close to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like she missed some steps where, you know, because he still had animosity because she, you know, he had said something about he did it with her last boyfriend and his brother. You know, Melvin was walking around there just like he was King Tut or something. Like I feel like there was no conversation held or something like that. Like I wouldn't want to put them in that predicament. Me personally, like I guess I always look at it like that, you know. And even in my relationships, I don't argue. I'm real key. I do not get in your face. Like I don't believe in that. I feel like it's too close. My dad and mom taught me, you come in arm's reach, I can swing on you. So stay out of my box, and I stay out of yours. Like talk to me there, because you know me. I'm the last person. I got mouth, so I'm gonna say what I want to say, and that is what it is. But I feel like when you so close to somebody, you start spitting. They feel like you're yelling. You so close, then you reach out and touch somebody, and then that's when things go left. Because once you hit, it's hard. It's hard to come back from that, you know, especially from a man that's not their dad. I've seen it personally, and it just never ended well.
So once again, in my from the wells that I have driven, that I had drawn my water from, with my first wife, when we got together, her children was 10 and 13, and at that point, me and her had conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we had conversations because once again, they're the kids. I'm gonna treat all of them the same.
Yeah.
I never put my hands on them kids but I had the authority to do so because me and her had those conversations. If you trust me enough to be your husband, trust me enough to be their dad. See what I'm saying? And sometimes an ass whooping is what's required. Now, I got to after a certain point, after a certain amount of time, I just took that off the table. I can ground you. I can take away privileges. I have all of that authority. I'm not gonna put my hands on you because you're too old for that at that point.
Yeah.
When it came to my second wife, when we got together, our son was 5. When I met him, I've known him since he was 3. But when we got married, I met him in 2008, so he was 3 going on 4. When we got married in 2011, he was going on 7, right? So he already had, and by the time we got together, he had already had transitioned from a church, knowing them only at church, to me and his mom is in a relationship. Now, at 7, once again, I've known you all this time. Me and her had those conversations. You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is.
It is. It is what it is.
It is what it is. See what I'm saying? And
but with you having your mom, you think that played any, like, could you say your dad wasn't in the house, but your mom was? So if your mom had boyfriends or a next person, do you think, did that happen to you? Like, were they able to hit you or hit?
No. Well, I don't know if any of if my mother had any conversations with any of the dudes that she messed with, but there was nobody. There was only like one real main boyfriend that she had on and off for freaking ever. And he never put his hands on us like that. See what I'm saying? Okay. I never got a whooping from him, never got physically chastised or anything of that nature.
But you respected him?
I mean, he was the dude of the house. So
okay.
In my growing up on my own, like, I really wasn't, like I said before, I wasn't raised on daddy's side a lot. So I'm saying not as a kid. Once again, I knew who people was, but if you wasn't, I used to say all the time, if you wasn't my uncle or auntie's kids, I don't know who you are. Because those are the only cousins that I really, really knew. See what I'm saying? Because I just wasn't on daddy's side a lot. But she never, like I said, she not for no random, dude that she just talking to, and
Right,
he's
right,
coming around her a little bit more frequently. It was never like that, and she never had any real dudes like that for real outside of Wally, and he never gave me a whoop. I don't know if I was surprised that he never gave Mimi or Sean one either, but then it was a whole another situation with him, and it is what it is or whatever. But if we was raised with, you respect who this person is in my life.
right,
So
right.
my thought would have been, if he's whooping me, my mom must have said it was okay.
Okay,
You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Because and it wasn't that Wally didn't fuss or but he never, when it came to any type of punishment for the kids, for me, my brother, my sister, that was 1,000% my mom.
Okay.
So they
So
more than
so
likely
you
must
did
have
hear
had
it
that
from your mom,
conversation.
not from him.
Yeah, I can, there was no nigga, what the fuck's wrong with your grades conversation.
Right,
Nigga, why are these dishes not done type conversation. See what I'm saying?
right.
Chores and whatnot at A, B, C, and D. There was never those. I can't recall not one conversation like that, but I was young. I was the youngest of three. So those type of conversations would have went to Sean and Mimi before
Right.
they reached my doorstep. Uh, right now, like with my own children, um, my youngest daughter, I would surmise that her stepfather or her father, who she calls her father, would have that authority because he's been that role in her life since she was, once again, since she was a baby, a kid,
Oh, okay.
a toddler. See what I'm saying?
Okay.
So I would expect that if he's had to discipline her in that way, that conversation's already been had back then, because at this point she'll be 20 this year. Obviously, he's not whooping her ass now. So I'm saying, when it came to my son, who who's watching, I don't know if his mom had a significant that had that authority, or that she gave that authority to. But I'm a different type of cat, once again, because you have these dudes out here that's like, ain't no nigga gonna be putting their hands on my kids, nigga. He's doing more raising of your kids than you are. Stop it.
Yeah.
Keep it a buck,
Well,
fam.
in most situations.
Let's work together on this now. And if you're doing it, let there be a good reason why. Let's have the conversation. But because I'm not one for not giving out that corporal punishment. See what I'm saying? I'm just not.
Right.
So if the kid is at school and you acting a plum ass, and this man who's been with your moms forever, that's taking care of you, that's providing for you, that's doing A, B, C, and D, that is being a daily father figure in your life, says that if you do this again, you already know what it is, and he got to get that out. Let's not be, we ain't gonna go crazy on this. See what I'm
Well,
saying?
so
But
since you didn't experience that though, I guess it's something like what you said. It's just from learning it
yeah, for me,
over time and stuff like that. So with that being said, just like the question you asked me, because I know we're coming to an end. How do you think? Because most, I want to word this real correctly. For me, and like jump down my throat. Majority of the time, the kids end up with the mom. Okay,
definitely.
so but just because they end up with the mom, sometimes the mom is not a good mom. Like, let's just keep it real. Just because
That
you're a
part.
mom don't make you, and just because you're a woman don't mean you a good mom. Like, let's just make that straight. But I'm assuming your mom's a great mom, and you that's where you learned it from. So does that help, or have that help as far as how you relate to women and
Yeah.
how you treat, because I do know there is some men who didn't get the nurturing from their mom, and they're trying to learn that because they didn't get that. So how does that play for you for your dating as a man?
For real shit, I didn't get that nurturing from my mother. My
Okay.
mom was born in '54. She had her mother had a stroke when she was 15, which essentially made my mom the woman of the house because my grandmother could no longer do the activities. So my mother became the chef. She became the cook. She became the blah, blah, blah. She became everything except for the wife of my grandfather and her brothers that were still in the home. She had her first kid at 17. Mm-hmm. She had her second kid at 19. She had her last kid at 21. So those years where you get to learn who you are, what you like, what you won't do, what you will do, those formative years where you get to be selfish as hell and focus on what you do. She didn't get that. She didn't get that. So she went from her parents' house to her husband's house to having her own house. And by the time she had her own house, she had 3 young kids. See what I'm saying? 4, 2, and me. 6 months. See what I'm saying? So she wasn't, my mom's ruled with an iron fist. I used to tell my kids all the time, niggas, y'all wouldn't survive in my mama's house. Because she wasn't the one for chewing her carrots twice. She's not gonna keep telling you the same shit over and over again.
Over and over.
You know what I'm saying? You got one opportunity. What Eminem say? You only get one shot. You met the chance to blow the opportunity. Nigga, she was.
Ain't no strike 1, strike 2, strike 3. No, it's one.
No, it was that one shot. And not that I got to ask her every time that I didn't do something right the first time, but she got me enough, or she got my brother and sister enough that I didn't want to take whatever I saw her do to them. No, nigga, I can tell you one of the stories that I will never forget ever in life. Nigga, we was in church, and shout out to God, my aunt Lolo, who's gone on to glory, other side of creation. We was at church at New Hope, old New Hope, the one that was over off of the freeway, 70. That was off of 70, off of Brooklyn and 18th and whatnot. All right, so we had old New Hope, and Lowe's the junior choir director, which was made up of all her nieces and nephews and blah blah blah, some of the church kids. And so Lowe's,
your mama went there. Okay.
Right, that's where that was the family church. So we was after church, my aunt Big Lil come and picks us up, and she tells Big Lil that me and my brother was up there talking the whole time during service. And I was like, I wasn't either. Why are you lying on me? So, right, why you, first of all, this is a hand of God. I don't remember talking. Regardless of the fact, Lo said it, so it must be true. So, so Big Lil tells my mama, Nick, I guess she must have had the absolute worst day at work because she went ballistic. Nigga, for talking in church, Nick, this is the worst comment I ever heard my mother say to somebody in my life. She told my sister and my cousin, because we at that time we was out of my grandfather's house. She told them niggas, she said, y'all go outside and give me some switches. And don't stop until I tell you to stop. And if you stop bringing me switches, I'm gonna beat your ass. For talking, Sam? I'm about to get annihilated for talking? Nigga, that absolutely went on forever. Nigga, man, when I tell you, hands to God, nigga, I'm like 7, 8 years old. See what I'm saying? So my brother's like 12. Yeah. So she's going and she's going back and forth between us. She's going in. So eventually, she's taking out all her fucking frustrations. All of them. So eventually she stopped swinging the switches. And she got my brother hemmed up in the corner. She is working Sean. She's working this little. She's working this nigga. She's giving him the entire business. See what I'm saying? God, fam. She turned back and looked at me like this. You want some of this? No, the fuck I don't. I want the part you already gave me. She continued to work my brother for another 5 to 6 minutes. Nigga, that was the worst shit ever. All over some talking, nigga. So when I tell you the way that I am, a lot of the ways that I am, I had to learn. How to be. Like I said, you be how you was raised. My mom she wasn't coming in trying to hear your side of the story. If the teacher called her while she was at work or home and said that you was acting the ass, nigga, you was acting the ass.
You was acting the ass.
Because why would the teacher call if you wasn't?
Right. If you wasn't acting the ass.
She was about that thunder. See what I'm saying? She was about that life for real. And so when I was younger, I parented in that manner. Nigga, it was on sight. See what I'm saying? You fuck up, you get fucked up. That was my motto. That's how I used to think. You fuck up, you get fucked up. See what I'm saying? So I had to learn to talk. I had to learn to give my kids a voice, but even though I'm giving you a voice, you don't get the voice all the time. So right. Because there's time for you to talk, and there's a time for you to just shut the hell up and listen.
Shut the fuck up and just let me talk. Just let me go in and get it over with. Yeah.
And a lot of times, some of the conflict that I have with my youngest son is that he wanted to talk when it was time to shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Oh.
See what I'm saying? So it was always a conflict there. It was a conflict. Yeah. See what I'm saying? But no, I had to. The way that I think about like I said, I grew up in a house where domestic violence was always right around the corner. I can honestly, hand to God, Steph, I can remember me, my brother, my sister, huddled up in me and my brother's bed, listening to my mom get beat up. I can remember thinking I would never do this to somebody and have their kids listen to that. There's things that we all go through that shaped us to become who we are today. See what I'm saying? Yeah. And some of those things, good, bad, or indifferent. See what I'm saying? I'm a big believer that for in that situation, a little girl sees that situation different than a little boy sees it.
Definitely.
Depending on the personality of that kid. 9 times out of 10, if a little girl sees her mom getting beat up, she'll accept that as from her.
Yeah, so she thinks that's love. Yeah.
And for a little boy, he'll think the same thing. He'll do one or two things. He'll either do like I did and say, "I'll never do that to somebody," or he'll
become what he's saying. Yeah.
Exactly.
And that's what they say too. That's like you said. That's living from your childhood traumas. And that's again, and that's everything. Everybody don't take in consideration in dating. That's just it's so many steps in dating. And I like I said, I'm still learning. But so many people skip so many damn steps. And I think that if people stop skipping and stop getting such in a rush to claim somebody and really know them, get to know them, not just their physical appearance and just that you want to get some, but really get to know how that person was raised, who was they raised by, what effect, like you said, what they went through, how that is still affecting them. You know, all of that plays into consideration because, like, my mom, on the other hand, she also went through the hitting. Her mom didn't take no stuff, and my grandmother is still here. My mom's not, but she didn't take no stuff. But my mom did totally the opposite because of her and my aunties and uncles, you know, being beat so bad. And you know, I mean, she tell the stories, you know, the things and just the stuff that they went through. She did not do that to us. You know, she really tried not to. But then of course she got sick too early on, and then that's when my dad picked up a lot of it more because of her asthma. But I do remember still, even with, like you said, even with her going through the trauma, she knew she still had to get a hold of us. And I got a whooping from her. Like I said, a whooping I would never forget. And it was stitches. I mean, it was switches. Mine was a switch and a stitching cord. And I was, and this is over. My sister already know my story. Mine was stealing a piece of candy out of my own damn candy jar. Okay, she told us to get 3. It was in the front room. She told us to get 3, and I got 4. I don't know how the hell she counted that when the jar was huge. Somehow I got 4. She found out, baby, when I say she went to work.
Damn, she beat your ass for stealing your own shit? Damn. See, I was
running around that bed. I was yelling. At that time, my dad had company. I was just, all I remember is yelling and jumping over the bed like, she gonna kill me. She gonna kill me.
All over the candy that's mine. The fuck?
You know what? I found out she found out that damn Stacey said I never committed a crime with her. She the one kept me in trouble. To me, I can lie like.
Yeah.
But that
I
damn
tell people all
Stacey,
the time.
you trying to light on her. She like, okay, we did it, but we only did it like this. But we only, bitch. Like, shut up.
I'm telling yeah. I tell people all the time, I'm not the guy you want to fuck with when it comes to if you commit crimes. Because I'm
God, I hate thanks for telling me that. I'll make sure. But I mean, I learned quickly because of her ass. I mean, we gonna show her powder donuts, and they like, oh, we know. She, okay, she just like, okay, Steph, look, we're just gonna tell we had one. No, like we've been running this whole time. Stick to the fucking stop. Like it's only open you and ain't open.
that part.
I've never committed a crime with her. Well, actually, me, if I commit a crime, I commit it by myself. Because the only person gonna tell on me is me, myself, and I.
That
Like,
whole part. Nigga, I'm taking that to the, if I ever do something sideways, I'm taking that to the grave, fam.
I'm taking it to the grave.
Y'all be shocked. Y'all be like, no, that couldn't be T, because nigga, it was, y'all never hear about it. Y'all never hear about it.
I'm telling you. I'm that girl.
Because who's not gonna snitch on him?
Well, I think all of that, with us coming to a conclusion on our show, I think parents having a great mom or having a great dad all plays in your dating. Just like if you had a hustler dad, or you had a pimp mom, or you had a hoe mom, it's different levels of parenting, but that all affects the way that you parent and that you date. But again, you still have a choice, because I do get men or see men, of course, because I only had one, but the men that I had, like, I remember there was times where my ex was like blamed because they was like, oh, you just this way because you had your dad. You don't have to continue to be the way you are just because your dad was not in the picture. Stop playing with me. Just because your mom gives you have a choice to let that go and to learn from it and to change it. Like, even if that's how you was raised, if you don't like the way that you are going now, or the men or the women that you're doing, because you keep doing the same thing, you'll keep getting the same results. And you're the common denominator, which we have talked about several times. But yet, all of that needs to be part of that dating talk. And I feel like a lot of people are scared to have those talks with people because they're worried about, oh, well, she'll stop liking me. She'll stop being with me. And if she will or he will, then hell, they was going to do that in 5 years and 3 years when that season pop up.
That part. I'm real big on having some for women that I'm interested in, for real. See what I'm saying? Yeah. I want to know. I want to know how you are. I want to, because because I have skipped stages before.
Yeah.
In whether I was in both marriages and in other relationships, and it has yet to work out properly.
Yeah.
So if I'm seeking a certain thing, and it takes a process to get to that thing, then I'm of the mindset that I have to be patient and work for that thing. Because, like you said, I want forever.
Yeah,
it's a desire of mine. I want somebody that I can grow older with. That we can
not 64 years, just 40.
Right. I want somebody that I can share the rest of these days with, good, bad, and indifferent. Yeah. I want somebody that I know that I'm going home to that has my best interest at heart. Just like I'm gonna have her best interest at heart. I want that, but I can't get to any of that if I'm trying to skip over or short circuit the process.
Because there's always a honeymoon stage. And then that's in everything. That's not only relationships, that's in jobs, that's in everything. There is that honeymoon stage. Can you survive that honeymoon stage? I remember even after my divorce, I was like, why not just date any dude, and we signed a contract. And after 2 years, because usually that's when it starts getting rough. That's what I had started seeing from cousins and family and friends. It seemed like they was always at that 2 year mark. That's when the real them really show up. You know, like the real Ike showed up. I was just waiting. You know, can we just sign a 2-year contract and then you go where you go and I go where I go and we good? You know, like, but I don't want a lot of relationships. I think that's where I'm at now. That's the reason why it's not that I'm not looking for a relationship, but I'd rather do the whole breakup and even like that post I made that said, you know, I think people that are single break up more than people that are actually in a relationship. I'd rather go through that breakup now when we're not together than to go through it once we start involving kids and families and twisting houses and I'd rather just go slow and know for sure and see you in every season. But you gotta
as much as
have
possible.
those, yeah, and
As
you
much
gotta
as
have
possible.
those difficult conversations, and it's okay. Like my conversations that I've been having lately is the results of where my kids are now or where his kids are now. Like I have older kids, so I'm like, how do you feel as far as a kid living with you now, an older kid? Because you know some people feel like push your kid out. I need to know because I'm not that girl. You know, I need to know. How do you feel about peace? How do you feel? Is a woman underneath your feet or is she by your side? How are you with finances? You know, do you want to share accounts? I mean, all that is part of the dating. Just because we're not together, why do we gotta wait to get together to have that conversation? I need to
That
know
part.
how do you handle that, you know?
That part. I mean, and once again, those are people. Those type of conversations or those questions need to be asked at the appropriate time. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the initial portion is we're just getting to know you. When I see that we're talking a lot more now. We're making plans. You know, the feelings is becoming more deep. Okay, then we need to have some what are the long-term situations? What is your opinion on this and that? Like you were saying, finances, kids, you know, do you see yourself living where you're at now? Do you think about moving out of state? You know, whatever the case may be. What dreams do you have between now and then? See what I'm saying? It's so many other things that we can be having conversations about other than just the physical. See what I'm saying? But so many
Yeah.
people get caught up
So
on the physical.
why do you say that as far as timeline? I mean, I know that's we know we're getting into our time. We need to end. This is our long Wednesday, what you had said. But why do you feel like how far into the talking stage slash dating stage do you feel like you should be having those conversations? Because I feel like they should just
If you
be
if
they
you
should just
I
flow.
mean those type of questions, you can have those type of questions. You can broach those subjects early. See what I'm saying? In
Yeah,
the getting to know you phase. But the
yeah,
in-depth portion, the in-depthness of the conversations, see what I'm saying? The seriousness of it. Let's I know earlier we said that, you know, you said that this is how you felt about kids and, you know, them coming back to live. Let's talk about that for a minute. See what I'm saying?
yeah.
And that's like date after date 3, date 4. Because you can have those dates within a short period of time. And
Yeah,
if you see that you guys are starting to have these, y'all starting to spend a lot more time together. Y'all
right,
starting to have a lot more conversations. Y'all on the phone for hours at a time and whatnot.
right.
You gotta have those conversations at the appropriate time. See what I'm saying? You
Okay.
once again, but you can get a feeling for or broach the subject early, just to see where their mind is at about it. See what I'm saying? And then when you bring it back up, see if it's the same answer.
Mm.
Because consistency, if they're consistent and they really mean it, it should be the exact same answer.
It should be. And I feel
It
like
should be.
sometimes that's where people get wrong when they start telling what they're looking for in a man. And I know a couple men that I've talked to. I know one in particular said that he talked to him, whatever, he tell him what he was looking for, whatever. And she'd be like, yeah, I'm that girl, I do this. And then once we got him, they'd be like, oh, I just told you that because I wanted to get you, you know, or that's
Right.
just I mean, that part, you know. And so I mean, I guess you got to tread lightly too of somebody that's just manipulating you and trying to be what you're looking for, but that's not really what they are, you know. But again,
Once again, if you put in the time, let time be the biggest thing that you give the relationship.
time, yes,
Because if you ask the question in January and then you ask the same question in March and it's two totally different answers, which one is it? and then let time be. Once again, we understanding that we're all in this to try to find somebody, but don't be in such a rush that you're overlooking those differences or those what could be considered a red flag. See what I'm saying?
Right.
And it could be that they just change their mind and they just think differently about it.
But
if
they
that's the
would
case,
tell
then
you
so be
what
it.
changed. But ask them why the sudden change.
Right, because I remember you said, last time we talked about this, you said such and such.
Exactly.
Oh, well, the reason why I think that now is because A, B, C, and D. You know what? That kind of makes sense. I can see how it's mature of you that you was able to, think about it, because that lets me know that you actually thought about the question and gave it some food for thought, and then you kind of just came to a rational decision about it. But if they come back with, oh, I don't remember saying that, nigga, then that, okay, what, huh? Huh?
So we still don't know which one exactly.
Oh, so now we're just making up shit as we go along. Okay, well, so be it. Okay, now I know. So that's where I'm at with it. It don't look like we have any questions on the.
Yeah, it don't look like we had a few people say stuff in, but we didn't have nobody asked to come in, so we're good. But I think it was a great show. I hope that we get more viewers, more people that wants to join on Wednesday. Please don't feel shy. Don't be scared. Me and T do not bite. Well, unless I don't know what he's doing, bedroom. But
I'm not biting. I know. I'm not into that freaky shit. See what I'm saying?
I read this thing today that said every girl is the happier she is, the nastier she can be.
Obviously,
hey, you might not be somebody, but hey, let you meet you somebody.
Obviously, I ain't making my chicks happy.
You'll get the bite in.
Obviously, I wasn't making my chicks happy because they was straight missionary. See what I'm saying? They wasn't nasty at all. I'm just saying. They wasn't about that. And so obviously I got some shit I need to work on. I need to be nicer. See what I'm saying? I'm gonna be nicer. Ladies, I'm learning. I'm learning. I'm a good guy. Give him a shot. Because I put this oil on your ass, you're gonna feel some type of way, you feel me?
And that's for me. Yeah, we'll see.
I'm gonna let you live in your truth, fam. Even though you've been showing your cookies all goddamn show. See what I'm saying? You know this the way that this phone is set up. When you had your legs up on the bed, you were showing your shit. Yeah, afterwards, nigga, you was out here flashing the people. See what I'm saying? Thank God.
Well, you should have stopped the show and told me that.
Nigga, I figured you know what the fuck you was doing. You a grown ass woman. You know what I'm saying? You out here advertising. You out here advertising.
This whole video, if that's the case. Where is my sisters that supposed to be watching the damn live? And right now, they're laughing, stop playing with me.
Deanna said no, you didn't. Oh, don't believe Deanna. Don't believe Deanna. Deanna ass has been known to be a cookie shower. She's been known to be a cookie shower.
You got me big because I kept going like this and like this and covering and everything else. But I got the panties, so I ain't stressing it anyway. But I'm gonna go back and look before I keep this. What she said? She said I got on here late. This I'm talking about. I ain't even know my sister crew with me. What's wrong with them? Where's all the sisters? I ain't know. But anyway.
You out here coming up Janet Jackson. Out here showing the world your 40-year-old cookies.
Hey, nah, I'm good. I saved my cookies for the ones that's worth it. Please believe me, okay?
Nigga, you don't even have cookies. You talking to a guy that don't even think you got cookies. You know what I'm saying? You're cookieless out here. You know what I'm saying? The fuck? I don't even know what nigga, why are you even talking to her? She ain't got no goddamn cookies. You know what I'm saying?
That's because we cousins out here, you know what I'm saying? They
right.
Forget that. Like what? That's my whole thing.
I think we're gonna end up having I think we can at some point we're gonna have to keep telling these people this shit, you know what I'm saying? Because if I get one more person that asks me who the fuck you is, Beach, why you worried about?
Like I'm not being clearly. I mean, but you know
God, oh, so that's your cousin for real? No, nigga, in play life. She's my cousin.
Because people do that stuff. They be like play brother, play cousin. But you know, like I was trying to make it clear. Maybe I should put first cousin. Like, we are blood, like daddies are brothers. And
That part.
who put things? Like,
that part. I don't know who did that. Let me see. It was Deanna because I said she's a cookie shower.
Well, you deserve that one. That was straight for you.
I ain't gonna put you on blast, fam. I ain't gonna even put you on blast, but you know I got a story as to why I said what I said. And I said what I said. How about that? Ain't nobody scared of you. Anyway, she said wrong emoji. Oh, now it was the wrong emoji. I think you cussing at me. Hold on. I think you was just cussing at your goddamn daddy. Hold on. Don't give it to yourself. It's the wrong one. You about to get panicked. That's what you about to do. You about to get panicked. See what I'm saying? You about to get panickated.
Don't be coming for my cousin. I got your back. I got your back, D. Don't even worry about him. He's soft.
I used to tell her all the time. If I want to get you, ain't nobody on this earth can stop me. Get it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh boy, now you sound like your uncle. Stop playing with me. I remember. Boy, let me tell you about your uncle. Let me tell you one time, like he did the whole daddy thing. I thought he was coming over, right? Because I was getting smart. I was getting real live on the phone. And so he's like, I'm about to come over there, and I'm like, he ain't gonna do nothing. Like, I was grown. So that's what I do. I call my mama. Like, mama, I'm telling you, if your daddy come over here, I'm calling the police. I can move my couch and put it against the door.
Oh, because you knew he would. You knew who the fuck you talking to.
I was scared as hell. But I was talking that stuff though, like I wish he would. And I told Mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm telling you, Daddy come over here, after the phone. I'm calling the police. He's gonna be in jail.
Talking cat shit, like you don't know who he is. So saying like
he said, you know his voice, you know. He's like, Stephanie, you're not too grown to get your ass whooped. I'm like, I am. like, I mean, in my head, I was like, I am. And I'm like, Dad, like you, and I don't even remember hanging up, but I don't know. I don't know. He was tripping. All I know is that couch was against that door, and I was ready to hit 911 if I seen that car.
Well,
my daddy to this day, but I think that's all respect. That's all, you know, that's my dad. That's my heart. I would never try my best to disrespect my dad. You know, that's my right hand right there. Without my dad, I don't know. I don't know where I would be. And he deserves the ultimate respect. And you and Deanna, it's a beautiful thing to see a man love his daughter and show his daughter that love. So that way she's not searching for that in a man. She knows how a man is supposed to treat her. She knows how it is to feel love. And I can honestly say there is not a man on this earth from my ex to in the future that would probably love me. My dad actually has loved me unconditionally. And to maybe hopefully one day to get to scratch the surface of a man, that would be a beautiful thing. But I think it's something amazing because, and you know, I want to save that for Father's Day. But I just really want to give you just a pat on the shoulders because a lot of men take a lot of heat. Poor excuse men take a lot of heat. Like there's not good dads, and you know you're a great dad too. Like I wouldn't tell you even if you was my cousin, you're a great dad. You know my dad's a great dad, and we are privileged to have strong men who really, you know, are really for us, and they're really there. We can call you night or day. You might fuss and cuss, but we know you're coming. And there is nothing that can do for a girl's soul and heart is to have that daddy's love. And I appreciate you and your things.
I appreciate it. And honestly, I really do appreciate it. But I've heard those words from my own. Like me and my I went over to my pop's house on Father's Day, and this is the last thing, and then we're gonna wrap up. Went on my pop's house for Father's Day, and we was having a conversation. I was just like giving him his flowers because I want you to know exactly how I feel about you. So right. And he said, I know that I did a good job because both of my sons have expressed those same words to me. And he's like, your daughters is going to give that to you. They're going to, because if you've done right by them, they're going. But when your sons come back and tell you those same things, it just And not that it means that it holds any more significance, because like I said, me, my brother, and my sister know who's number one in my daddy's heart. We know. He can say what he wants to say, but we all know who the yeah, we know who it is. And I have no problem with letting it be what it is.
See, if my sister would just fall in line on the same thing and just know it's me,
Yeah,
we'd be all right.
yeah, we know who it is, but their relationship is just so different from me and Sean's relationship with him. But I've heard my own kids say the exact same thing, and so I just wanted to be. Like I said, I made the decision to be a better father for my kids. Period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted my kids to be able to be proud to say that's my dad. That's my guy. See what I'm saying? Like, I tell Deanna all the time, the biggest thing that I want, one of the things I want for me and her is to have the type of relationship that my father and my sister have. Because I know that both of them walk through walls for each other. See what I'm saying? You can't tell Glenn about Glenesha, you can't tell Glenesha about Glenn. You stepping on dangerous grounds. So, but I want that relationship with all of my kids, not just with with my boys too. I want my boys to know that if you need me, I got you, bro. See what I'm saying? Because we're at a point in time in our lives now where we can be friends. You can be friends when you was younger because you had a goddamn bedtime. I can't be friends with somebody got a goddamn bedtime. See what I'm saying? I don't understand people who's like, my kid is my best friend. How does your kid? 3? Then what the fuck's wrong with you? If I was a kid, you would look at me like I'm some type of pedophile. Go get your goddamn life. You was a whole woman before you had kids. Go get your goddamn life. That's another subject for another day. But I definitely do appreciate the kind words. But it comes with a choice. Saying, like a lot of mothers don't get the choice. Saying they don't, because like you said, the kids are with them. So I'm saying, whether they good mothers or bad, the kids are going with them regardless.
Right.
I wasn't always a good father. So I'm saying, because I wasn't always present. So I'm saying, but when I made the decision that I was going to be better, my kids reaped the benefits of that. And that's in the end, that's all that I asked for. That's all that and they've given me the opportunity to do so. You know what I'm saying? Not holding against what I hadn't done. They love me for where we're at, and we've been able to flourish. And I'm proud of my forward. You know what I'm saying?
You should be.
Deanna's doing her thing. Tay is doing his thing. T is out in Cali doing her thing. Ronnie is trying to figure it out, doing his thing. But what we got to do, what we have to realize as parents is we can only do so much. Because you're still dealing with a whole nother human being that has a whole other mindset so don't look at it as a failure if your kids is doing things opposite of what you taught them, because they're still human. They still have the right to make the decisions that they're going to make and whatnot. So that's a subject for another day. Once again, we want to thank y'all for tuning in. We truly appreciate y'all coming in.
Sunday will be Sunday. I don't know what the title will be, but our business Sunday. Our business Sunday. That's right. So we'll be we'll be visiting with all the small businesses,
but that's not this Sunday. That's not this Sunday. That's not this Sunday. That's not for Sunday.
Wait a minute. It is.
Oh, it is. Oh shit, it is. You're right. I was okay. You're right. It is. So this Sunday, Small Business Sunday.
See why you need that? See why you need that female? See, you see why you need that?
I sure was thinking that it wasn't. You're right. It is.
It is.
So
Small Business Sunday. So we'll be at most of our viewers. Just so you know, I probably won't be at this location. It will be my son's graduation party, so I am super excited and super emotional. But I will be at his party, and so we will start the live there. We'll probably end there too. But I know for a fact we do have Tuffy, also known as Stacy and Belvy, and then we have 555 Event Center, and for Samaya Dunlap, and then you have one also too coming on, right?
I do. My boy God Heating and Plumbing. Okay. I know, and we'll have all this information up here soon. And like I said, what we're just trying to do is give people in our community, small black owned, and I hate saying small anything because it's their business. So to them, it's the biggest
Right,
thing.
right. So just
So,
black owned.
so black owned businesses, the opportunity to expand their customer base if at all possible.
Yeah,
So come on and listen. You may find somebody that you find somebody that you can use their services. If
yeah,
not, you may need it in the future. And we're going to try to give them a platform to do so. So tune in
yep.
on
And
Sunday.
we'll be doing
We'll
that
see you
every
then.
fourth Sunday. So if you
Every
also
fourth
have a
Sunday.
business and you want to get on, please let me and T know, and we'll
Right.
definitely get you added. Like I said, we have three. We could possibly move to four. We're just giving each of them some time to talk and tell a little bit about their business and don't want to rush them and everything like that. So
That
you'll
part.
still have your same host, just maybe different locations, and we'll see you guys on Sunday at 7 o'clock. Peace.
Have a good one.
All right, guys.